Hey everybody, Jeff Fuzzy Wenzel here from Woodshed Agency. I am the CEO, and what we do here is we help companies do crowdfunding, whether it's in the Kickstarter or Indiegogo space, or even if you're over in the equity space, like on platforms like WeFunder, Start Engine, Republic, all those ones. So that is what we do here. So today we are doing a new review show. We are going to be talking to the Hemp blog. They are currently on Kickstarter right now, and we're going to help Eric kind of go through his page and check out, maybe some things that they can improve or do differently and that sort of stuff. So, if you are thinking about doing crowdfunding, make sure you go over to woodshed.agency right now. We've got a ton of resources for you there. I cannot stress it enough. Go to our blog section every Tuesday. We've got a new blog. If you want to go over to our podcast every Monday and Thursday, we've got new podcast episodes talking to project creators while they're being successfully funded or while they're in the middle of their campaign. So a lot of valuable information there. Last but not least, you can go and click the community button, which you join over on Discord. We've got over 95 people in our Discord channel having conversations about crowdfunding, and we want you to be a part of that as well. So tons and tons and tons of options for you. And again, also, I put my calendar out publicly. So if you go to woodshed.agency as well and you go to the consultation, you can pick a time to talk. And I'd love to kind of learn what you're working on and point you in the right directions if you're off course a little bit. So a lot of stuff here. But with all that said, why don't we jump in and see if we can't help Eric out with his Kickstarter page. And let's go ahead and jump right on. Here we go. Hey, Eric. All right, the red light's on. So it's go time right now. Here we go. So why don't you tell my listeners and my viewers who you are and what your Kickstarter campaign is?
Hi, my name's Eric Dana. I'm part of the Hemp log, Fire log campaign on Kickstarter, and it's made out of hemp.
Awesome. When did this campaign start? Because this is an active campaign, correct?
We just started it yesterday, actually.
Okay, so we're fresh into it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. Well, this is great. So for all of our first-time viewers out here, my goal is to kind of dive into the campaign and kind of look at it with fresh eyes. Just look at it like, I haven't dove into it, and then offer some suggestions or some tips or things that I'm seeing that may be helpful for the Hemp blog to have a really successful campaign. So why don't we go ahead and jump right on in? So let me do a quick screen share here. Let me click on the correct buttons here. All right. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Awesome. And hopefully this is the right campaign.
It is.
We did it. All right. There's our first big milestone, as I got the right campaign up. So awesome. All right. Well, let's jump right into it, and let's see what we got here. Let me pull up this here. All right. Okay. So let's jump into it. So it looks like the Hemp log, Earth's coolest carbon negative fire log. All right. That title should be fine. All right, we got a $5,000 goal. So you obviously had a pretty good first day. You're almost at your goal, so that's great.
Yeah.
Did you do a pre-launch, I'm assuming, for this, where you got some email addresses?
A little.
A little bit? Okay.
Yeah, a little. And we've had a little bit of back and forth with Facebook. So this is mostly friends and family at this point.
I'm assuming because of the word hemp?
Yes.
With Facebook? Yep. Yeah. I've worked on a number of CBD and hemp products, so I had to be creative. So
yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, first thing most people will do is probably click on the old video. So
the Hemp log is a revolutionary way to bring the warmth of a fire into your home while keeping your carbon footprint low. Our progressive new technology utilizes waste materials that would otherwise be thrown into a landfill. We recycle it and transform it into our Hemp log line of products. Founders Eric Dina and Brian Montgomery met in the cannabis hemp industry in 2010 and have been working on several facets of the industry.
Hi, I'm Eric Dina.
And I'm Brian Montgomery, and we're the creators of the Hemp log. This may look like a cannabis plant, but it's actually a hemp plant. The main difference is a hemp plant has 0% THC, which is a psychoactive ingredient in marijuana that gets you high. So even though they look alike, they're a totally different plant, and this is the base of our hemp log.
Right, the hemp log is no cannabis spill, and you can't get high on our supply.
This pile of processed hemp waste or biomass is the whole reason that we came up with the idea for the hemp log. There's piles even bigger than this at every farm in America, and it would just go to waste. We found a way to recycle it and renewable energy with the hemp log. It'll bring warmth into your home and gives all of this, what would be trash, a new purpose in life. Everything that we need to focus on to secure our future is to find a way to repurpose everything that we would normally throw away. And that's what the hemp log is all about. Striving to come up with a solution to make hemp a truly 100% reusable product in every form, they came up with the hemp log. The hemp log is the first internationally recognized hemp product in the world, made 100% USA grown hemp. As a contributor to our campaign, you are taking a huge step towards improving sustainability and bettering our planet. You are proving that people want cleaner, safer, and carbon-neutral products in every facet of their lives. Your contributions will be put towards upgrading our tooling and distribution network to provide a carbon-neutral product from manufacturer to delivery. We also have a perk where we will name a hemp tree on our farm after you or a friend. That will include a complimentary photo with your order. Finally, there will be a summer beach party in Newport Beach, California for all the donors over a $500 pledge. Our hope is that the hemp log will have a major impact on deforestation. 48 football fields of trees are cut down every single day. For every $1,000 raised, we will plant a tree. With the legalization and decriminalization of cannabis and hemp in the USA and acceptance of all types of hemp-based products, we don't see any obstacles besides funding, as we are manufacturing and distributing all under one roof. We understand times are tough and uncertain. If you cannot pledge, please share and tell a friend to help our cause and save our planet one hemp log at a time.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, all in all, that's a very good video. Tells a story. Gets you guys are within that first 30 seconds. You guys are already into it. You're telling us what it is, what the product, what I'm buying. So I think you guys did some really good stuff here. Things that I would be a little cautious around. Somewhere around, I think it was around here when you start getting into like your perks. And I think this is kind of what I've seen across the campaign. I don't know how much a t-shirt, hats, or that sort of moves people anymore in the crowdfunding space. It's mostly, I want the thing. I want to buy the thing. I want a cheaper price. I want the super early bird price. And then I think I would also be cautious of using that word donor. It throws just a little bit of a curveball in the Kickstarter ecosystem, right? It's not really donations. I'm pledging $500 to get that reward, or I'm buying X amount of logs. So you may be using that word of like the I think it's in here, right? The beach fire bonfire. They're the beach bonfire party. I think just being very cautious of using the word donor in that, because ultimately they are buying 24 hemp logs and so on and so forth. So I think all in all, like we used to have a lot of sort of, hats, t-shirts and all that sort of stuff in our campaigns. We've started to kill that in the last 2 or 3 years, just because we found that it just didn't move the needle. And at some point I would become a merch booth. Like we would be selling a lot of, I'd have to make hats and t-shirts, and really wasn't like the core business. So I think it's just being a little cautious with that and just being like, hey, these are the best logs, like you already have a solid story about what these logs are doing, right? Like to the world. And I think it's a much stronger argument to be about the cutting down a forest, the 48 football fields worth of forest. That to me feels like I would think more about that than parties, right? If that makes sense. All right, let's kind of keep diving into the page here. Are these like Vimeo GIFs? Is that what these are? It's interesting.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So I think, this is, to me, this is like the second most important real estate on these pages, right? One is a lot of people won't even watch the video. So I actually think the hero image is more important. So let me refresh the page here. I want to see what that hero image looks like again. So like that, you have to imagine, is probably getting shared out, when you share out your stuff. So like this is, to me, this is the most important image. Even this image here, I may have in here some of your like keywords around like, safe for the environment, cuts down on deforestation, that type of stuff. Maybe even putting some of these like keywords or key phrases into it on this on this graphic. Again, imagine that it's getting shared out, to other pages, and would this image really tell that story? So maybe it's not having 6 logs in here, it's having 1 log, but then having a list of all the benefits of using this, as opposed to the store bought ones at, your local Kroger or grocery store that you pick up for $5-6, whatever it is. So maybe think about this graphic a little bit too. But I say that because then your like most important next thing is right here. And I think you're losing a little bit of steam with this, because this really actually doesn't tell me anything. It's just a GIF of your name. So is there a way to have an image here that's a little bit of this, but a little bit more story around, put this on the fire, light it, it burns clean, or, I don't, this, like the first thing that popped in my mind was the Christmas thing.
Have something drawn up like that. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Like I keep thinking about the Netflix Christmas Yuletide log thing that we,
Oh yeah.
That's all I keep thinking about. So again, I get that that's what it's doing, but like, I don't know if people are getting it at this point. So I would really think about this section. And I'm going to give you a campaign to look at here real quick as an example. And you may be familiar with it, but I'm going to pop it up here because it's a great one to reference, just because of, one, it did really, really well. But I love how they have, where is it? Oh, where is it? It's called Hitch. It just finished up on Kickstarter. Maybe I'll go to it this way. Hold on, 2 seconds. I'll pop it up. I want to show you this section of that next layer down, because I think it is super, super critical. Let me just pop it up off of my website here, because I know I have it. All right, so this campaign did really, really well. But look at this like first image. This is within 2 seconds you get it. Is there something in your world that could be like this?
Yeah,
and maybe it's just Yeah. So think about that a little bit. That's all. That's what I'm trying to get to on that. And I don't know if this is doing it. And again, thinking about how important this next landscape is, or this next layer down is, I don't know if we're quite doing it here. So think about that. So let's keep
I
going
get
on.
what you're doing.
See what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
Okay. All right. Benefits of the hemp log. So I think this is probably, to me, the graphic I'm talking about. If you go up here, could you
Mm-hmm.
put these benefits that you
Yeah,
have listed right on the,
absolutely.
like, these are the benefits of this log? And then I think this image doesn't actually support what you're talking about here in my mind at this point, right? Like, I guess I would be thinking like, oh, it's a green, I would probably, my instinct would be like, that's weird. It's a where you grow weed. Like, I don't know if I would instantly get into, oh, it's a hemp log at this point. Yeah, I may be putting this down a little bit further. But I think with these benefits, these benefits are huge. And they're just kind of like, again, thinking also that most people just don't read. So they're just going to go, bloop, right? And they might just miss that. So think about that a little bit. All right. So my next one is like, I think you guys are up a little high if I look at other campaigns. I typically have my founders towards the bottom.
Okay.
Again, most people right now are in the mindset of like, do I want this thing? And I don't know if, frankly, your picture makes them buy it at this point. So I would probably put that down a little bit and continue going down these benefits or testimonials at this point of anybody who's used it, or an industry expert, or it might be, let's go back over here. These guys did a great job of this too, because they're working with like landfill, right? Like, see this image here? Like zero waste. I mean, quickly I get it with this GIF. And I'm going to show you one more thing that they did too, which I think you guys would be kind of in the ballpark of, something like big, you have these big stats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's see them,
Okay.
that might be something that I'm putting in, that again, it's doing what you want it to do, but it's a little bit more visual.
Yeah.
This like, I like this one, but even this one, I think this is sort of like some stock footage or B-roll maybe. It's not as like impactful as if like you just put like 48 football fields, like 1, 2, 3, and you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of football. Like, that's a lot, so maybe think about that. And then I think the other thing I would love to see is, and I'm a big proponent of these, is I love pledge now buttons. So thinking of these in sort of stages, like, okay, maybe they watched the video, they watched 30 seconds of it, a minute of it, they got it, they scroll here, they see a nice image here. Maybe after this image, there's a big pledge now button. And what that pledge now button's doing is it's taking you to the reward section. So because when you click on that you want a reward, right? You click here, you go, yes, I want to buy it. It's going to take you to this page, right? How can you get people to this page when they're just scrolling? So I'm going to go back, because what's happening here is people are scrolling here, but the rewards don't scroll. So if I go back to really good campaigns, they'll have, we always put these in all of our stuff, pre-order now. When you click on that, it's going right to, well, it used to. It goes, the project's not live now, but it goes to all the rewards that you get to pick from, right? So I think those are helpful too, because again, most time people are like, all right, I'm in, I want this. They're not typically going over and going, okay, now which one am I getting? Okay, I gotta read through a trucker hat thing. I don't want, what? No, I don't want my name. I just want the logs, So like, really thinking about how people flow through those, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. And again, good images. I would just have this buried a little bit more. Striving to come up with a solution to make hemp. Again, good image. I'm not a huge fan of this button. I don't really want anybody to like. If I'm going to have this, I would have like, and I don't remember seeing this, your share, but okay, they're down here. So I would have pledge now buttons instead of this.
That's easy.
Yeah, nothing too major. And And then maybe here too, maybe have Reddit. I don't know if are these this is all one image. Okay, yeah. So have those separated. And those should be share us now on, and you use the developer where it'll actually pre-populate what the share message is. So if I click, instead of this going to your website, if I'm clicking this, it should go to it should share on Facebook, it should share on Twitter, share on Pinterest, share on Instagram. Same thing with if you can do the Reddit one, just because of the hemp world, there might be some really interesting subreddits that you might point people to share out this campaign. All right. So I think other things that it feels like we're missing is I usually like to see a reward image. And for an example, I'm just going to keep using this one because I have it open.
We just had them. We just had them made, so they'll be dropped in today.
Cool. Yeah. So really important, just be 2 equals X amount off, X amount off, X amount off, right? You buy 5, it equals this. Okay, cool. So you're thinking about that. Another one is, I think okay. So the super early bird. So when you have, the whole point of super early birds is to have the fear of missing out. I think you guys are doing the complete opposite by having 900, 1,000 left. Really, that super early bird should be we have 50 left, right? And you're driving as much traffic, and then you may add another 20, but you're always keeping that fear of missing out. Oh my gosh, they're about ready to sell out. With 9 days to go, there is no fear of missing out. And what's happening is that, and the reason we do this, in that first 48 hours, I have to get as much momentum as possible. Really, you should be at 10, 15, 20 grand right now. So you don't want people coming here going, all right, I'll back in a couple days. There'll be some left.
Yeah.
Right. You want them right now. So I strongly encourage you to maybe go in and adjust those. And there's a tool you can try. Hold on. Let me pop this up here real quick. And I just learned about this tool. So let me pop it up here. It's called Perk. I think it's called Perk Filler. Just give me a second.
I saw that one.
Yeah, you may want to try it. I know it's new, it's in beta, but what it does is it always keeps your rewards. When somebody's going to the page, it feels like, oh my gosh, we only have 5 left. I better buy right now. That type of thing. Maybe something to consider to try. All right, let's kind of keep looking through here. All right, so you're going to be adding in the rewards. I think that'll be great. Are there any social proof around press articles or industry news things? Have you guys been in anything? Featured on anything?
On this project, not really, not yet.
But you have in other stuff?
Yeah, I've been in Wall Street Journal.
So I would put up there. I would have all the the press logos of just hey, we've been featured in these magazines, or these are the publications that we're a part of. Again, it's all about social proof. It just proves that hey, this we've done a lot of stuff. So almost every campaign too, we try to find and get some press things going on. What is this down here? Okay, that was interesting. That feels really buried and could potentially be way more important than you're making it. Is it? I guess I don't really know. How important is this? The One Tree Planted? You have a partnership with them or something?
We donate a portion of all proceeds to One Tree Planted. They plant trees all across the world.
Okay. I'm assuming. Oh. So, okay. Again, I would stand back and really imagine that people might have skipped over that and then just watch that video for them where you're not even really mentioned. There's no, I think it's just taken from something that they have, it seems like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the press pages.
I would definitely be finding a way to man, this is super important for us too. So it's finding that way of integrating this as opposed to just being this kind of passive and most of the time too, I'll give you another thing is a lot of people don't click the videos inside of these pages. Like they'll see the GIFs, but once they give you, man, if they gave you 2 minutes up here, they've either decided they're purchasing or not. So I guess this just kind of feels, I mean, it seems like it should be really important, but it feels a little buried, like it's just kind of thrown in there. So I would think about that a little bit. So all of these suggestions I think are, I know in your note you're thinking about, how do you scale up if you partner with a Jalop or Funded Day or whoever it might be. These
Right.
are probably things that they would be saying like, listen, if I'm going to drive a bunch of traffic here, we got to see conversions. And the conversion rate for these campaigns is roughly about 1%. So if you think about, hey, if I send 10,000 people and most of the backers come in at $27, right? Or is that what most people are? What are people coming in at mostly right now?
Yeah, it's
$10,000?
actually the $50 one.
55. Okay. So whatever it is. So we just do the math of like, all right, I send 10,000 people. It converts at 1%. Most of those people are buying 12 logs. That's, $55. What does that actually equal math wise? So if we can get that conversion rate up to 1.5, I mean, those are, good improvements. And I think too, I would think about, so like I purchase a lot of these. I don't have a fireplace, but I've got an outdoor little thing that we make
Oh,
s'mores on. So I
fire
buy
pit.
the pre-packaged ones things,
Mhm.
So I think I would also, is there a way to like with the graphic to be, if you buy this, it's, I don't, more expensive. It pollutes. Ours last longer. Is there a direct comparison to like why I should be buying this as opposed to the ones that I could go right now and buy and just throw into my little oven or my little, you know, outside thing, put some s'mores on it. Kids are fine. We move in, right? Like, is there a good comparison between these two things, or is it in your mind a completely different
No,
product?
we had something. I'll have to look through our all our files, but I know we were drafting something benefits versus basically a comparison versus other versus firewood
Right.
and other manufacturers with fire logs.
Yeah, because I would imagine, and I just don't know this industry, but like, are those
Right.
when I buy the pre-packaged ones that just light up right away? Like I just throw it in there, and you just light the corners. Are those filled with chemicals and stuff? Like what's in them to make them? Like I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody knows.
Right.
They're
Right.
they're mixed with several different things. Wood, sawdust,
Mm-hmm.
basically coffee grounds, peanut shells, you name
Oh,
it.
weird.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting. So like I guess if your audience is a little bit of the all natural, in your mind is your audience also the
Yeah.
all natural? Like I'm assuming that's my wife. My wife is an all natural. We buy
Right.
everything organic. If she knew about this doesn't have all the stuff you just mentioned, and our kids are standing right next to it, breathing in whatever I just let on fire, like
Right.
it seems like that's a pretty big audience or messaging too that might
Yeah,
need to be.
that's the market we're aiming towards, and that seems to be the age group that we're getting is the 25 to 40 year olds,
Yep.
millennials.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so I think, I mean, my take on it is just kind of standing back going, yeah, this seems like it would be an awesome product. The page to me feels a little undone. And it just needs some of these extra things into it before I would consider scaling up. I would really think about your rewards, how you're structuring these. And again, also be thinking about how much do you want people reading about your trucker hat and hemp plant name as like a major thing, as opposed to like getting to okay, I'm going to buy the $55 thing. Thinking about how you move that focus a little bit too. I think it's important. So, and then also imagine too, that if you, at some point you use a tool like BackerKit, or if you use these other, these third parties or CrowdOx, that's a point you could include the add-ons and say, hey, do you want to add on a t-shirt, a hat for an extra $20 after they purchase the thing that they really want? So thinking about that a little bit too, of like your post-campaign strategy, I think will be important. So, but yeah, so all in all though, man, it seems like, man, really great product. It's awesome what you're working on too. I think this would be great. I'm your audience. Like I said, I buy the things at the Kroger and I just throw it in there and I light it up. And I'm a 40-year-old white male on Kickstarter. So that's it. But yeah, so I think all in all, man, kudos on launching the campaign. And obviously you'll hit your goal. and hopefully you can scale this up and really do well. I don't know if you're looking at the tool Bigger Cake, but you're trending. Well, trending hasn't come out yet, but you'll probably trend, I would imagine, 15 to 20K, somewhere in that ballpark when you get a couple more days under your belt here.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of what my gut would tell me is where you're probably trending towards. So awesome. Well, hopefully that all helps.
Yeah, it does a lot. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I wish you a lot of luck. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. And thanks for being on the show. And good luck in the next 29 days, man.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, man. Have a good one. Bye now.
It's on the radio. It's that song, you know. We can all sing along. Clap your hands, it's on the radio. And the speakers blow. Make your eardrums round. Take your hand off the radio. It's the same old flow that we've come to know. Living life by the radio, it's the way to go. If you're fake or phony, you're gonna buy into it every time. Living their life, can walk a fine line. It's what they're feeding you every hour, every day. A perfect life is something you'll never gain. So reach back and grab your life again. Escape the pressure from within. Turn it up, it's on the radio. It's that song, you know. We can all sing along. Living life by the radio. It's the way to go. If you're fake or phony, it keeps us living 'cause we're giving back another life. It's the only thing that keeps us alive.